Hey, I wanted to discuss this topic, how to find the right people to deploy Copilot first. Copilot has a cost. It's $30 per user per month. You need to pay up for a year. So it can be very expensive for an organization. So you might want to start to focus on some users, what I call pilot users, to figure out, what is the experience? What is the return on investment? And so for that, you need to figure out, who are the best users to receive Copilot. So here are some criteria that I'm going to describe to explain, what you should look for when you're deploying Copilot first. I highly not recommend to deploy Copilot for every users. Try to find a population first, a pilot, and learn from it. So look at the people who are consuming a large volume of email, documents, meetings, people who are consuming a lot of information because Copilot is there to summarize, to help them analyze this. So it's going to be beneficial for these people. So if you can find those people, sometimes it's managers, sometimes it's people who are in front of a lot of people. So that's why in the second point is people who are interacting with a lot of people are eligible for that. If they're facing with a lot of customers or a lot of internal contacts, external contacts, probably they're going to have to manage a lot of information. So Copilot can help them. Also, not only people who receive information, but people who are creating large volume of documents. People who are creating campaigns, people who are creating documents, whatever document it is. There's several jobs where you spend a lot of time in Word. So identify people who are spending a lot of time in Word and creating long documents, long PowerPoint, and we need support to help them to create that. And Copilot can be very beneficial for those users. People also who are managing a lot of tasks, like project manager. When you're project manager, you need a lot of meetings. You're managing tasks in different support. It can be in Word, it can be in Excel, it can be in Planner, it can be in a meeting. Just what you're saying in a meeting, you take action in the meeting. So that's a task. So Copilot can help you to analyze all those signals and make it more understandable. If you have people who are doing repetitive tasks like copying, pasting from different documents, it's always the same pattern. You can, with Copilot, you can grab information in different documents and make it a new delivery without having to open all those documents. You can ask Copilot, look in this document, this document, try to find what is consistent, make a table of it, whatever you want to do. So that's what I mean by people who are doing repetitive tasks. People also who are analyzing large documents, so reading documents. Um, you have press release. You might want to review. People are reviewing long documents, reviewing something, especially when you're publishing something externally, a blog or whatever. You might need tools to help you to analyze if you're not missing something, if the tone is right, whatever. If you're reading a long document, that might be important for you to have Copilot. People also who are responsible for the content quality. So a good example is, let's say you're writing a sales proposal or you're writing a blog. Everything that goes out of the organization that can hurt your reputation should be reviewed. Also, every legal document, every whatever policy you want to share with a large amount of people, you might want to have the help of Copilot to check if the content is well formed, there's no grammar error, but also you want maybe to check if it's compliant with your set of rules, like a scope of work should have certain paragraphs. So you can just ask Copilot, can you check if this document is compliant with my rules? So on the other side, you need to prepare that. You need to prepare the set of rules that can help to validate this information. People who are doing a lot of what I call reconciliation, so assembling of different things in different, like a project manager who needs to create something consistent from different sources, definitely who are doing a lot of search and assembling different documents. That's definitely a benefit for them to help them to reconcile all of this. And then there's more specific needs like people who need to use Excel to analyze data, but don't master Excel. And Copilot can help definitely to find the right formula because you are able maybe to express in a natural language what you're looking for, but you might not know what is the formula or what are the formulas. Maybe there's several formulas you need to use. And that's where it becomes tricky. And we often see a lot of people who are not really comfortable with Excel, but they need Excel. And so instead of relying on other people or doing a poor job or doing a copy paste job, a manual job, you can ask Copilot. Copilot can do two things. Either it can, create the formula for you in a cell, but it has to be in a table. So you need to manage table information, or you can ask in plain language what you're trying to achieve, and you're going to give you the formula, just like ChatGPT will do it. So that can help a lot. Some people are not very comfortable. I will say that people are very comfortable with Excel. They might not need the help of Copilot. There's a few use cases where it's beneficial, but in general, they might not need it. Other specific need, if you need to translate documents, if instead of using a third-party company where you need to to pay a lot of money, or even if you're cheap, you're going to use Google Translator, which does a really bad work. Just an example, if you're an international company, when you have to send communication in different languages, it's a challenge. It's really a challenge. Here you have really a simple tool that can translate whatever email you want in whatever language, almost, maybe not whatever, but in a lot of languages. So use that. It will save you time. You can translate document. There's some limitations because it's just translate the text. So maybe the formatting will be broken, but that's still saving a lot of time. And finally, I think it can support creativity. So, for example, you can ask, Copilot to create a PowerPoint presentation from a document. It will structure the slide deck, but you can add your own slide. It adds images related to the topic of the slide, so it's able to connect the dots here. But also, to me, it's more starting the process of creativity. Drafting a prompt. That's where you're going to be creative and asking Copilot, help me to structure my thought here. Coach me. You can ask Copilot to coach you on something. There's a lot of things in terms of creativity that Copilot can help you with. The coaching part is really impressive because you can ask Copilot to play a persona and you pretend to be another persona and you give the context and it's a conversation and you can give guidelines, you can give steps and you can ask. I share that with my son. You can be trained on this on a topic at school you want to learn and ask Copilot to quiz you from simple question to harder question and giving you some insights without giving you the answers. So a totally new way to learn actually with the help of Copilot. When you combine that, if you can combine that with documents that are in your environment, you can ask, coach me based on those documents. So it's very, very powerful, but it takes time. What the point here is, whatever you do, you're gonna have some challenges. The first challenge is that uh, people can be very confused when they're using Copilot and can drop the use of Copilot because it doesn't bring the result. There's a miracle expectation that is not accurate. That takes time to learn how to prompt, and if you're prompting simple things, might not have the good results. So you might have people drop there. You might also have people rely too much on Copilot, and they're going to give some context in a prompt, get a good result. They think it's a good result, but it's not good. And especially it happens when you're not mastering the field you're asking for, because you're not able to figure out if the result of Copilot is good or not. It looks good, but you're not sure. So you need to be vigilant with that, and that's why it's really important to help users along the way. I would say it's like in social media era, when we were doing a lot of social media, enterprise social media, there were community managers. I think you need Copilot managers in the same way, who manage the community of users, but start with a small number of users, a pilot, and expand your circle with what you learn, and make sure that people are sharing their knowledge, because you learn a lot by failing, and that's another change in terms of mindset, in terms of behavior. Copilot induce the fact that you need to fail to learn, for several reasons. Because first, Copilot is just nascent. Generative AI is nascent. It's changing at a fast pace. Second, there's hallucinations. So sometimes there are bad results. Sometimes you're not prompting well, and so you're not getting the right results. You're not prompting in the right sequence. The order of your prompt is very important. So that needs to be learned, and one good way to learn is to do by yourself. That's the first best way to learn. The second best way is to learn from other people who succeeded and find patterns in terms of how do you prompt, what are the use cases. Then you need to find your own use cases. I will say the way you learn Copilot is first start with understanding how to work with the tool. How it works in Word, Excel, PowerPoint. There's some differences. The different products, almost all products are supporting Copilot. So try to understand how it works there. Then The next step is find your use case. Where is it beneficial for me? There's specific use cases that are more applicable to your job than to others. Everyone is different. There's common use cases, like summarizing a Teams meeting probably is a common use case, but there are more specific use cases based on what you're doing every day. So find your use case, and then the next step, when you're going to be very mature, I think it's the step where you ask yourself every time you want to do something, can Copilot help me? And you'll find out that a lot of time it can help you and save you time. Hope this was insightful.